At the time, there were many pieces of my life that were not at all in the best state. Like I had been single for many, many, many years. There was like a lot of friction with a lot of my friends at the time, very low self-esteem, lots of anxiety, lots of doing lots of things for others in the outside world to feel better about myself. There was a part of me that I didn't dare to go to before. And there was a part of me that I was too scared. It was like taking off the lid of Pandora's box. So I was running away from it the whole time. And I didn't even realize. And with you, we went to that place that we took off the lid and we realized that it was actually a box that needed a lot of gentle care and a lot of acceptance and a lot of softness. That approach, like viscerally experiencing that gentleness and acceptance is the way through everything, even though it's hard to sit with those emotions and to sit and to be like, okay, even though I think if I accept this, I'm going to die, I'm still going to embrace it. Just this fundamental choice of holding myself through everything. That was, you can read about that in magazines, right? You can tell yourself you're going to do that, but to have that experience on a visceral level and having somebody to co-regulate with you and to mirror you in that is that's the power of your work, I find. It's having this space that is so deeply safe. I could really, really start deeply feeling and expressing and sensing and holding myself as well. The level of compassion and sometimes tough love, the love that you had and never felt rejected. And I remember thinking that often, like, she's still here? Like, I'm doing all this and I'm showing all that and I'm being all that and she's still here and she still wants to support me and she's still around. And that in itself was a very, very, very healing experience for me, to really, really be held in support without conditions. I have two that are like ingrained in my brain. And one of them is I'm telling you about how I feel like I'm on the floor and then I'm like exhausted, and you were like, okay, let's go, let's lay on the floor, let's like physically embody it. And we spent pretty much like quite some sessions being on the floor and then allowing my body to be there and not fighting my way up, just resting in that and slowly allowing my body to come up in the way that it wanted to, and find strength in that slowness and acceptance. And that was big. And sometimes I still do that today when I feel like, okay, I need to tap into that energy of deep forgiving and deep accepting. I just lay down on the floor and I do that. What I find interesting is that when we work together, it never was this thing of like coming out of a session and boom, meeting my next boyfriend and wow, we get married and we have 3 babies. It's like a fundamental piece that changed, and I'm still building on top of that, and it's been unfolding since. And now I am in a healthy relationship with a man, and I have way better connection with my family, friends that are really, 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 really there for me. There's a lot of heaviness and a lot of trauma that is not in my life anymore, and so it opens up for different kind of connection. Much more joy as well. So much more joy, flow, openness, like listening to the body and following what is present there instead of deciding how the body needs to act. That is fundamentally different. And once you get that, you live your life in a different way. For anybody who's on the fence, I would say tune in with yourself. And for me, the question is not, is Orit capable? Because she is. She's brilliant. You are brilliant in what you do. And there is a piece of responsibility that is necessary for this work. Like, are you ready with an amazing guide to look at the things that you've been hiding away from? Now you're ready to take full responsibility for that. And actually, on the other side, are you ready to have a very easy and joyful life? Because some of us are so attached to not having that they choose not to take any step. It's confrontational. It's really going to those places where You don't want to go. But then again, that's what makes life rich, because it becomes your life. It becomes your authentic expression of life. It's not anymore the life that you build to avoid your trauma, which is a very different lifestyle. And I believe personally that one moment or another we're confronted with that. And there's people who are 60 years old and they have millions of dollars, and then they realize actually their whole life is built on trauma. And there's other people like me who meet Orit in their mid-20s and we're like, thank you so much. I have a different foundation to build on from now. Thank you.